Hello everyone and welcome to my villager trading tutorial. Today I'm going to be explaining to you how I like to make my villager traders, starting from converting zombie villagers into villagers I could use to breed, and then creating children and storing them in a very safe and secure way. They call me the toaster, and let's get right into this tutorial. So let's go through the materials list one at a time. If you're already familiar with all this stuff and you know how to craft it, you could skip ahead in the video a little bit. So you're going to need about 4 stacks of blocks. I don't know exactly how many blocks you need, but I'll know at the end after I build it, and maybe I'll come back and say it right here. You'll only need 3 stacks of blocks. After that, you're going to need some slabs. You're going to need 7 wall. You're going to need 27 pieces of glass, a chest, 3 iron doors, 6 powered rails, 16 rails, 1 activator rail, 9 pieces of bread, 6 blocks of redstone, 7 redstone dust, 3 dispensers, 4 minecarts, 4 levers, 2 wooden buttons, and 8 buttons. They could be any color. I just like the black buttons because I find they stand out more and it's easier for you to see them. What's next? We got 3 oak signs, 3 oak trapdoors, 3 lecterns, 2 composters, a couple of torches, 2 splash potions of weakness, 2 golden apples, about a stack of paper, 8 beds, and a sticky piston or a piston with a block that obeys gravity like sand or gravel. Skip this part if you already know how to make all of those, but there are a few that I want to point out. So to make slabs, you'll just need 3 of them, and that's going to make 6. To make walls, you need 6 blocks like this, and you're going to need 7 of them, so you'll have to make 1 more. Glass is made by melting down sand. A chest, you can make a chest by putting 8 planks together like this. An iron door requires 6 pieces of iron, and you only need 3, so that's okay with that. Next, you're going to need powered rails. This is how you make powered rails, and we only need 6, so this will be enough. This is how you make regular rails. And this makes 16, which is exactly how much we need as well. And then finally, you're going to need 1 activator rail. This is how you make that. We're only going to need 1, but it's good to have for the future. Next, you're going to need bread, which is just 3 pieces of wheat. Then you're going to need a redstone block. This is just made by using 9 pieces of redstone. Then you're going to need a dispenser. This is how you make a dispenser. And we're going to need 3 of those. Next, we're going to need minecarts. So this is how you make a minecart, and we're going to need 4 of those. Then we need the levers. This is how you make a lever. We're going to need 2 wooden buttons. So a button is either just a piece of oak or any piece of wood. And then the regular buttons, you could use stone, but I'm going to use the polished black stone button because it stands out a little more and it's easier for you to understand. We're going to need signs. 3 signs, so to make 3, that's how you make them. We're going to need 3 trap doors. I like using the oak ones, so you're going to have to make this twice. And then we're going to need 3 lecterns. This is how you make a lectern. You can make this with any slab, it doesn't have to be the mangrove one. And then we're going to need 2 compost. So this is how you make it. You can make it out of any wooden slab. Doesn't need to be the mangrove one. I don't know why it's showing you the most difficult one. You're going to need some torches. I think half a stack is good enough. That's just a stick and a coal. Then you're going to need golden apples. You're going to need 2 golden apples. So to make that, it's an apple with just some gold around it. Then you're going to need some paper. Paper is just 3 sugarcane, and that makes 3. So it's basically 1 to 1. So you're going to need about a stack of those. You're going to need 8 beds. So I like the red beds. I think it's classic. You can make it any color you want. So that's how you make the beds. And then there's the piston. So this is how you make a piston. And then if you can make it sticky, just add the slime ball on top. If not, just use a sand or a gravel. And then you're going to need 2 splash potions of weakness. And to make those, To make the splash potions of weakness, you're going to need a brewing stand. And to make that, you're going to need 3 cobblestones and a blaze rod. You're also going to need a blaze powder, which is just the blaze rod. You just put in the crafting table. It's going to give you 2. You only need 1. Then you're going to need a fermented spider eye. And this is how you make a fermented spider eye. It's a sugar, a spider eye, and a brown mushroom. You should have sugar because you're making paper. The spider eye, you just get that from killing spiders. And brown mushrooms, well, hopefully you found one. They're a little bit hard to find. And then gunpowder, which is just a drop from a creeper. You're also going to need 3 water bottles. So to make that, you're just going to need glass to make the bottle. So 3 of these gives you 3 glass bottles. And then you use a water source to fill up those bottles. So like this, you just put a water source, you fill up these 3 bottles. Then in here, you have to put your blaze powder in there. Load up your water bottles and put your fermented spider eye. And that's going to give you the potion of weakness. And then you just need to add gunpowder so that you're able to throw it. And that's how you make them. You only need 2, but you can make up to 3. All right, so let's get started building it. So you're going to need an area that's 21 blocks long, 8 blocks wide, and 4 blocks high. There's also a bit of redstone underground, which is another 3 blocks. So technically it is 7 blocks tall, but it's very, very minor, you're going to see. So let's start with the wall. Place 6 blocks like this and dig out a space here. 1, 2, 3. And dig out another space here. So let's put down our rails right away. So we're going to power both of these rails, and then we're going to put them just like that with the 3 in the middle. Next, we should fill this in a little bit more. Okay. And right here is where we're going to put our chest, which is going to keep our potions and our golden apples. Okay, then we can continue building up this wall. And now we're going to place down one of the dispensers. So break this block right here and place down a dispenser and put 1 minecart in there. All right, now let's go around the back. And we're going to have to put 2 blocks like that. And we're going to put 2 pieces of redstone here. So we can place down our buttons now. So there are 2 wood buttons. One of them goes here and one of them goes here. And then we're going to place one of the black buttons. And that's it for the wooden buttons. There's only 2 in the whole build. That's all. That's the only place they go. The rest is just regular buttons. Now if you click this button, it's going to spit out the minecart. All right. So now down here is where we're going to put our sticky piston or regular piston with a sand block if you don't have that. And then we're going to put a lever right here so we can control it. So dig down 2 blocks like that. Let's go ahead and place more redstone. Then just come back up here. So I'm going to cover this area. And we are going to put one of our levers here. So now you see, we'll put a block on top of that. So it goes down, lets it out, goes up, puts it back up. So let's just finish building the rest of this entrance area over here. So we're going to have to close this up. And I would put a torch right here. So that way it goes and it lights up the inside of the place. Next, we're going to have to put 3 blocks like that. And we're going to put our 3 slabs. 1, 2, 3, just like that. Next, we're going to be putting our doors. So 1 door there and 1 door there. And we're just going to close it off. Just like that. Great. So now if we click this button, we could run in. And then click this button to let the zombie in. Now we're going to need to place a button up here. That's going to open up this door, and that's our way out. Okay, very good. So this is just the first part where we take them in. Now let's move on to the second part. So next thing we want to do is to place our blocks, 2 blocks like this, and we'll also need to place a button here. And the reason why we're doing that is because if we trap a baby zombie villager, we don't want him to be able to jump up on this block, because that's going to make him not be caught in the minecart when it goes off. So if we put a button here, it's going to think it's a full block. It won't think it could jump up there. Then we just need to build another set of blocks. And now we're going to start the room with the beds. So 1, 2, 3 more blocks like that. And then we're going to be building our back room. So it's 4 beds. And here now we can place down our beds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, that's 8 beds. And I would break these 2 blocks and I would put the compost here. That way, the 2 villagers that we put in here for breeding will have these job blocks. All right, so the next thing we need to do is to put down more rails. So let's start over here. We'll do 1, 2, 3. Break these, place the 3 blocks here. And we're going to place a dispenser facing towards the bed here. Just like that. So now on these blocks, we're going to place powered rail, and the activator rail right in the middle. Next, we should fill in the rest of the blocks. So let's cover this up. And then this needs to be 1 more tall because the villagers are going to stand on these beds and they need a place to fit. So just like that, we'll cover it up. And then we'll also put in a roof. So let's just cover this all up. And of course, we're going to place some torches. I'll place 1 in each corner. That should light up the room enough. All right. And now we're going to need to place a lever on the back of this one. And before I place any of the glass, I'm going to place it right at the end. So let's just do everything else first. So now next to this, we need to start building our rail system to bring them into the next room. So we're going to be placing a powered rail here. And we're going to be placing, so break out 1, 2, and then 1, 2 again in this direction. So what we need to do is place a powered redstone here and the powered rail here. Now we can use our rail to go 1, 2, 3. So let's just build that up a little bit. So the next thing we need to do is to place this dispenser facing the powered rail. And this one is going to dispense all of the minecarts that the children will take. And now we just have to wire this up. So behind this one, you're going to want to break break down 3. And then break the block under it. And then right next to this one here, you're going to break down 2. And you're going to put the 3 redstone like that. 1, 2, 3. It's important that you do it exactly like this. So next, we're going to be placing our buttons. So cover this one up, cover this one up. So we'll see now. If I click this button, this powered rail should turn on. And if I click this button, the minecart should turn on. And then if I click this one again, it should send it flying. So that's working. So I'm going to put this minecart back. And we can move on to the next step. So the next thing we need to do is to figure out the powered rail system. So what you're going to want to do is place another one like that. And then bring that around. And place another one here. And if you put it like that, so this spot here is going to be where the villager is going to end up. So we have to build around this. So let's build out 3 blocks like this. 1, 2, 3. And I like to put a torch down. That's where they're going to be. And just for now, we're going to have to place a block over there. Now, let's build up on top. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to place our trap doors from the inside so that way they open out. And then I'll need to close off this side, just like that. And close off the roof. So this is where one of them is going to go. And now we'll do the same thing for the next one. So 1, 2, 3, just like that. And then fill this in. Put a torch down where they are. And then just for now, place 1 block and place a trapdoor. And do the same thing for the third one. 3, 2, 3, 3. And the roof. Put down a torch, the block, and the trapdoor. Okay, great. Now we just have to fill in this back area over here. So let's just fill it in just like that. And you can make this hallway a little bit wider if you want to. It doesn't need to be so small, but I am trying to make this compact. So now what we need is a lever on top of the rounded rail and one right here. We don't need one for the last one. And what's the point of this is that when you flick the lever, it changes direction. So after we have the first one in here, we don't want it to go in there anymore. We're going to redirect it and it's going to go to the second one. Okay, so now all that's left is to place the final door. I'm going to place it on the inside like this. And I just need to build up a little bit of this roof here. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to bring this all out by 1. Just like that. And this one also I'm going to extend it by 1. Okay. So now we have a button that goes there and a button that goes there. Also, you could place some torches in here as well, so that it's nice and well lit up. So this is how we're going to be going. Next, we can place our wall in front of here. And the reason I like doing that is because it just offers an extra layer of protection. So nothing could jump up. Even if you leave the trapdoor open by accident, if a baby zombie is here, it won't be able to jump in. So I find this is a really secure way to store the villagers. Alright, next what we can do is we can load up this dispenser with the bread. And we should also break off this block right here. And now we can put our glass. So starting over here on the right, we're going to put 2 like that. We're going to put 1 over this rail and then another 2. Same thing for this one. 1 over here and then another 2. 1 over here and then another 2. And then we just need to fill in this gap over here. Next, over this one, we're going to place 2 over that. And then we're going to leave this one open and just place 1 here. This is how the kids fall through, because the adults can't pass through this hole. Next, we need to close this off. So by sneaking, you can place the glass on top of the dispenser. And then you can put 1 and 2. And then for right here, you can place another 2. Place 1 more on top. And that's it. In my other world, I had replaced this block with the glass, but now that I'm looking at it, it's not really necessary to do that. But I'll do it anyways, just because that's how I did it the first time. And yeah, we can just fill in the roof a little bit. And check that out. I also had an extra button that I didn't end up needing, so that was my bad. So in this chest, you can store your signs and your lectern as well. So when those are ready, you can use them. So let me give you a basic tutorial on how this works. First, what you're going to need is a zombie villager and lure him into this trap over here. You'll need to hit him with a splash potion of weakness and give him a golden apple. After he converts, you're going to want to click this button to pick him up in a minecart and send him to the bedroom. Pick up the cart and reset the trap by placing the cart inside the dispenser, and repeat the process a second time. After you get the second one in the bedroom, you could finally get them to start breeding. Put 9 bread into the dispenser and flip the lever until they have it all. They should make 3 kids, and eventually those kids are going to make their way through the trap and fall into the minecart. Click that button to send them off and put another one there. Afterwards, you have to build 2 blocks behind the villagers to protect them, and flick that lever. So then do this process again for the next 2 kids and wait for them to grow up. After they do, break the 2 blocks in front of them and just keep placing down lecterns until you get the trade that you want. After you find one that you like, you have to trade paper with him to lock it in, seal him back up, and write on the sign above what the enchant is. If you want to expand this, so right now there's 8 beds, so you could have 8 villagers. There's 2 in the breeding chamber, and you could make 6 villagers to trade with. If you want to add more, all you have to do is just come around the back and just place more beds here. They don't have to have access to the beds in order for it to be valid. So just place more beds here, and then when they breed, they're gonna, create as many babies as there is beds, also depending on how much food you give them. And you could just expand this more to the left. You can make a second floor if you want. Really, it's customizable, but this is a really good beginner's kind of way to get started with villager trading. I hope you liked that video. If you did, please drop a like. Please consider subscribing and leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me if it was clear. If there's anything else I could help explain, I'll be more than glad to. All right, I hope you have a nice day. Toaster out.